If we were to take a look at some of our other workspaces, we would see that we have a different number of panels each time. So with the texture paint workspace, for example, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 panels. But with the scripting workspace, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 panels. With compositing, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the number seems to vary with each one. With rendering, we have 1, 2, 3 panels. In order to add more panels to our setup, hover over an intersection and right click to bring up your area options menu. We have the option to go with either a vertical split or a horizontal split. Let's go with a vertical split and see what happens. So left click, and you should see a thin white line appear in the panel where your mouse cursor is positioned. In this case, I've got a thin line in my 3D viewport. If I move my cursor over to another panel, the white line is positioned in that panel instead. If I left click in a specific panel, it's going to divide the editor into two versions of the same editor for two separate panels, but they take up the same area for our workspace. So in this case, we've divided up a single 3D viewport into two 3D viewports. From here, we can change one of these editors. So for example, I can change this to the UV editor. I could also change this to something else if I wanted to. For example, a text editor. We can do the same thing horizontally. So just right click on an intersection and choose the horizontal split. Then we get a horizontal line wherever we position our mouse cursor. For example, I'm going to position this here and left click. This creates two versions of the properties editor. We're going to take the top version and we're going to change it back to our outliner. Now what I want to do is I want to get my 3D viewport back. I'm going to start by joining these together. If you'll remember, we do that by right clicking, going join areas, and we can decide which area we want to become the primary editor. In this case, it doesn't matter too much, so we'll just left click, come up to our editor type menu and select 3D viewport. Drag this down and we're pretty much left with what we had at the start.